Reynaers products are designed in Europe and well crafted in America with manufacturing facilities in the U.S. Reynaers ConceptSystem CS77 swing doors are comprised of a frame, door panels, threshold, glass, and hardware. This video is intended to be a guide through the critical steps required for installation. Refer to this and other detailed documentation for a full overview of installation procedures. The following is a quick overview of the tools and accessories required for installation. Couplers or field bullions can be used to combine different system profiles for placement within a single opening. Typically, the coupler comes attached to one element from the factory. Before connecting to adjacent profile, ensure the pencil gasket is installed properly and hasn't dislodged during transit. Remove glazing bead to access the pre-drilled holes required for making connection to the adjacent profile and coupler. While fastening profiles together, place elements in a location where they will not be scratched, for instance on a sawhorse or similar setup. Seal the gap between the coupler and the connected profile with caulk at the top and bottom. Once the units are joined together, make sure the support joints are supported while moving to avoid twisting the units apart. Building integration techniques and water sealing methods, including sill pans and flashing, should be executed per architectural details and construction documents specified by others. A successful installation begins with making sure the unit is properly positioned within the opening. Use plastic shims as required to plumb, level, and square the frame within the opening. To check plumb, use a level to verify it is vertical, not tilting forward or backward. Utilize a level or laser to verify the unit level. Once set, run a tape measure across the element diagonally from opposite corners, both ways, to verify the dimensions are equal, thus square and ready for installation. It is recommended to directly attach profiles to the building structure. However, fixing lugs can also be used for making permanent connections. When using direct attachments, a temporary fixing lug can be used to hold the frame in place. Use appropriate anchors to avoid bimetallic corrosion of aluminum profiles. Refer to construction documents for specified fasteners. All connections need to be made on the interior side of the frame. Do not pierce the thermal break or outer part of the frame to avoid water infiltration through this region. Drill field pilot holes and locate shims near the connection points to prevent buckling of the frame. A small pilot hole should be drilled first, penetrating the door frame and building structure, followed by a larger pilot hole, which allows the fasteners to pass through the exterior of the frame and hold the units in place. Once completed, if desired, cover holes with plugs supplied by others. Connections are required on all sides, 8-inch maximum from each corner and 27.5 inches between attachments. Always locate connections at the locking point and hinges. When a coupler, transom, or mullion is used, it is critical to locate attachment points 8 inches maximum from the intersection of the connecting profiles. Do not pierce the sill chamber to avoid water infiltration through the bottom of the outer frame. Embed the door threshold in caulk to adhere to the substructure below. Utilize fixing lugs to secure the bottom window profile of the adjacent elements combined with the coupler. To allow for expansion and shrinkage of the elements, use minimal shims at the header frame. The door vent is pre-hung within the frame from the factory. Before proceeding with the glazing process, it is critical to check that the hinges are securely fastened to the frame and vent. Check that the door is operating friction-free with the correct clearances. For CS77, set the reveal on the hinge side at the head to a 6 mm gap. Also ensure a similar 6 mm gap is present between the frame and vent along both jamb legs. Adjust hinges to obtain the correct clearances for the reveal. Concealed hinges featured within the CS77 product line are adjusted as follows. When making any adjustments, first loosen the clamping screws on all hinges. For vertical adjustment to raise the door, access vertical adjustment screws below the hinge at all locations. Rotate twice. Then raise the door using the vertical adjustment screw accessed from above at the lower hinge. Maximum adjustment 3 mm. For vertical adjustment to lower the door, access vertical adjustment screws from above at the top hinges. Rotate twice. Then to lower the door, access vertical adjustment screws from above at the lower hinges. Maximum adjustment 3 mm. Once adjusted, reset vertical adjustment screws at the top of the upper hinges. Tighten adjustment screws at the bottom of all hinges, 17.7 inch-pounds to 35.4 inch-pounds. For horizontal adjustment, loosen safety screws accessed inside the vertical adjustment screw at the top and bottom of each hinge. Adjust shadow groove as needed. Proceed to retighten safety screws after shadow groove is adjusted. Finally, to complete any adjustments, tighten clamping screws 13.3 inch-pounds to 17.7 inch-pounds at all hinges. Proceed by following the glazing process to install glass within vents. Ensure there are enough team members present to safely place the glass. It is critical to properly position glass supports to secure the glass within the vents. Pack the glass using a heel and toe technique by placing glass supports at the lower corner and diagonally across the frame within the upper corner of the strike side, 4 inches from the interior edge of the frame in both directions. Utilizing the glazing bead from the short ends to temporarily hold glass in place. Use shims and packers to ensure the glass stays tight within the panel. Place packers perpendicular to the frame while making adjustments. Add or subtract shims to fine-tune the vent to square the reveal for the door panel across the head to the strike side. Use a glazing shovel to properly position glass and center within the opening. After the glass is centered, recheck the reveal all the way along the header to ensure a consistent 6 mm gap. Once confirmed, turn the shims parallel to the glass on the interior side of the vent. To maintain water tightness, it is critical to seal the bottom glass support with silicone caulk on the interior side. To complete the dry glazing process, move one of the glazing beads from the side to the final location at the bottom. Move the other bead to the top of the frame and install side glazing beads to complete this step. Use a small section of gasket to secure the glass between the frame at each glazing bead. Cut gaskets 10% longer to compensate for expansion and contraction. Use the glazing shovel to stitch the gaskets between the glazing bead and the face of the glass. Complete the process by inserting the bottom gasket, followed by the top and sides. Make sure all accessories can be operated easily without restriction. To finalize frame installation to the building structure, break down or cut back shims. Place drainage cover. It may be necessary to drill out part of the glass support if located at the end of the drainage slot to allow for insertion of cover. Simply turn the handle downward and open the door. Typically, to lock the door, pull the handle upward to activate the multi-point locking mechanism and rotate the thumb turn to engage the deadbolt. Complete installation by peeling back and removing the protective tape. It is important to remove tape once the unit is installed. Leaving the tape on the frame for prolonged periods can result in difficulty removing the tape. Reynaers, together for better.